Good afternoon. This is the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners for June 13th, 2017. I'm Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake, Chair of the Board this year. I'd like to start off by doing introductions. To my left is Gary Edwards, Commissioner Gary Edwards, and to my right is Commissioner Hutchins. To his right is Labanita Bomar, the Clerk of the Board. To her right is Ramiro Chavez, the County Manager. And his right is Elizabeth Pettit, our Deputy Prosecuting Attorney. With that in mind, I'll ask Mr. Gary Edwards to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
And I would ask Bill Muma to come forward and lead us in the pledge, please. Longtime citizen of Thurston County.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so with that in mind, is there approval for the agenda for today?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the agenda for the Tuesday, June 13th, 2017.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the agenda for June 13th, 2017. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and motion carries. And so today we have a couple presentations, and I'll start off by Resource Stewardship. We have Mr. Brent Butler who's going to give a certificate of appreciation for Dave Shipley, who is part of the Historic Preservation Committee Chair from 1988 to 2017. We're absolutely grateful for him and some other members of the Historic Commission here we'll talk about. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the Commission. I'm honored to be here today.
Pull the mic up. Pull the mic up. There you go.
I'm honored to be here today to honor a distinguished citizen of the county, of Thurston County, Mr. Dave Shipley, for his decades of service on the county's Historic Commission. Dave was appointed in the late 1980s by the former Commissioner Les Eldridge, who I believe is here today. Mr. Shipley served as chair of the commission for nearly 30 years and was instrumental in several key areas. He served as a dependable and effective chair and led a very diverse group in setting and achieving the goals of the Historic Commission, was a key member of the commission in the creation and the administration of the county's Heritage Grant Program, which is an annual grant program. He led the county tour effort and put together a complete citizen historic tour guide so that all citizens are aware of the heritage in the county. He has led efforts to register dozens of historic buildings and sites onto the county's historic register, such as the recently added Lost Lake Log Cabin. He also has advanced the County Historic Marker Program, as well as many other projects. Many members of the commission, Historic Commission, are here today. If you could please stand. To honor Mr. Dave Shipley. And at that juncture, I would like Mr. Shipley to come forward. I'd also like to recognize that we do have one staff person who has been supporting the commission and the chair, Cammie Peterson, for about a decade. And I believe Cammie is in the audience today. Thank you for your service. Why don't you stand, Cammie? Thank you for your service to the community. And at that juncture, I'd like to pass it off to you, Mr. Chair.
You want to read the proclamation?
Proclamation says, in your honor of service. Now, the certificate is presented with thanks to David Shipley. The Thurston County Board of County Commissioners expresses their appreciation and recognizes your nearly 3 decades of service as chair of the Thurston County Historic Commission. Your commitment and dedication to identifying and promoting the preservation of historic resources and increasing awareness of our national, state, and county heritage has made a positive difference in our community. Presented this 13th day of June 2017, signed by your county commission.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, yeah. And so I'm going to ask my two seatmates if they have any remarks, and I'm going to ask Mr. Les Elder to come up also, former county commissioner, and make remarks, and then we want to hear your remarks. Is that all right? Sure. Have anything to say?
No, but I doubly appreciate the historic portion of all this because I'm getting old enough to where I resemble history. So Les and I go way back.
If you're over 50, you're.
Oh, no.
We had a standing joke here when I was in another role, and Les was a county commissioner, and it was always, you have to do more with less. Because budgets were always tight.
Oh, my God. That is not funny. What do you got to say? Hang on a second, Les. Les, 1 second, please.
Oh, go ahead.
You don't know where you are and don't really appreciate where you, and I don't mean you, but where we are as a community or as a region or where we're going unless we know where we've been. So we don't repeat the past. That's the negative, but do repeat the past. That's good and positive. So it is such a critical role that you do by preserving our history of our community. So thank you, sir, very, very kindly. It's very important.
Yes, sir, you got the floor.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members of the commission, pleasure to be here. And you are wise to let Mr. Shipley have the last word, as he usually does in all of our historic commission meetings. In 1984, Commissioners Barner, Fraser, and Eldridge created the Historic Commission. Soon Dave was appointed, and soon after that he rose to the chairmanship. We all sort of considered it chairmanship for life after the first 2 decades. And he has done a job of steady, inspired leadership over those 3 decades. It's remarkable what he's been able to do for the protection of historic sites, for the placement of historic markers to help educate our residents as to their history. And as Commissioner Hutchins points out, that's a very important thing to know where we've been so we can hope to know where we're going. And his Director Butler was correct in that it was a diverse group. If you can imagine 12 commissioners and 3 alternates over 3 decades, each with his or her own opinions about history and perhaps own agendas, it's like herding cats. And David has done an incredible job of keeping the commission on point and headed in the right direction with a great deal of collegiality in the process. So he's to be commended for that. Director Butler mentioned the grant program, which is so important because it enables the county and the County Historic Commission as a part of that process to award and to assist other nonprofit groups and historic oriented groups in the county to help preserve our county history. And I was particularly impressed with his chairmanship of that group, keeping us on point and keeping us consistent in our application of the criteria by which we select and recommend to the commission, the county commission, the recipients of those grants. And of course, he's done his own, I would call it one of his signature project, his tour guide of historic points in Thurston County, which is a really, really epic piece of work and is going to benefit county residents for many, many decades. So if I may, Dave, add to this commission's thanks, the thanks of, on behalf of a very ancient 1984 county commission. Thanks for all your service.
Okay,
I
tell us
didn't
the
know I was
story.
supposed to give a speech, but so I didn't come prepared. The bottom line is that I think it's a privilege to serve, and I took pride in serving on the Historic Commission. And I never dreamed that I would be on it for almost 3 decades or be a chairman virtually that entire time. I put together Bud, I'm still open to an invitation from you. I put together 2 slideshows. John, you mentioned learning past history and what have you. Hope you can see my slideshow because I've got my own little quote in there of our past, our present, and our future.
Oh, good.
And I've also got a quote from a person who said that the only good way to see the countryside is not be on the interstate, be on the country roads. And so it's a tail end of my 2 presentations. So I have one on the western and southern portions of the county and take you to all the historic sites. And I also have one for the eastern and northern portions of the county and the historic sites. My goal was to come out with a brochure. We have a book that I instigated that's going to be coming out real soon on the history of Thurston County, which is an awesome book that I'm sure you'll enjoy. So it's been a real honor to serve a whole lot of staff people, and Cammie, I wish you were giving a speech up here because I think you've been an awesome individual. But it's been a real privilege. I've learned a great deal. I think I gained more to myself than what I gave to the county, to be honest with you. So I appreciate the recognition and the commendations and the nice words and what have you. The bottom line is it was a great experience, and look forward for the Historic Commission to continue. I would say the 2 main things that we accomplished would be probably the grant program. I think it's a win-win situation. It wins for the county. It wins for the small organizations that apply for it. And the other one, I counted up that we have almost 20 signs in the historic signs in Thurston County, including one, I may add, in Grace Harbor County. But at any rate, it's a fantastic experience on my part, and thanks to my wife over here. She's also tolerated me going on every second Wednesday of the month to a meeting and many other meetings, but I appreciate it, and I thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you, sir. Dave, we'd like to get a photo with you and have all those who have participated over the years with you to come up and get a snapshot of this. Cammie and Les and all the others who are part of the Historic Society, or committee.
We don't have a quorum. It's only 3 and you have a quorum? Oh.
There you go.
Does this qualify as the usual
Good? Oh, all right, all right.
Gotta get my good sign.
That's right, the best.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 6. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
guys.
David,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so for our next presentation, we have the Proclamation for National Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Pride Month. And I'll turn to Commissioner Hutchins and Kai Abrahamson, who's the Secretary of the Capital of City Pride. And want to come out and give a little talk about what's going to happen this weekend?
Sure. So Pride's this weekend. I wasn't exactly sure.
There you go. Raise the fight. There you go.
There we go. People can hear me a little bit better. Yeah, so excited to be a part of Pride this year. This is my first year in Olympia. Is this on?
You're good.
And,
I'm just having her close the door for me.
yeah, so it's exciting to be a part of this community, and I thank everyone that's done so much work in this community so far, and excited to continue that with everyone. So
Expected turnout,
I can't give you those numbers.
number of floats
but
and rides and all
I
that.
believe last time I checked with the other people on Pride, we had 48. Yeah,
Yeah.
48 last time. So we're expecting to see a few more as it comes up. But
Right.
yeah,
And what time's the parade start?
There you go. There's another one.
noon,
Noon.
and it'll end at 1. And
Staging
then-
at the Capitol?
Correct. Yep. So staging starts at around 11. We'll be marching from noon to 1, and then from 1 to about 6 p.m. is when the festival itself starts
outstanding.
with some Friday night kickoff stuff.
And how many number of years has this been occurring?
Since 1991,
Oh
I
my
believe
God.
here.
Okay.
And participating last year was a hoot. It was a hoot. And had a tremendous amount of support from our local community, which was wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful to have.
And
It's really
last
great
thing,
small town.
Can you just kind
Yeah.
of give an overview or introduce one or two people that's come with you today?
So the one person that I do know, Luke, is a co-chair of Pride.
Okay.
So I want to uplift him. And most of the other people I have just met. So
Or Gabby, does anybody
Yeah.
want to come up and introduce everybody?
Yeah.
If you want to be introduced. If not, that's fine.
Okay, good.
yeah, this
Oh,
is
look
the
at
crew.
that.
Oh, here we go. I knew it.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah, please, yeah.
Hi, I'm Lucas Miller. I'm currently co-chair of Capital City Pride. Today we have Kai Abrahamson, who's our secretary.
Yeah.
We also have several members of P-Flag Olympia on hand today.
And P flag stands for what?
Gabby and Alec Clayton. Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays
There you
was the original acronym. We just call it P-Flag these
Yep.
days.
Okay.
We have Alec and Gabby Clayton. We have Tom and Alan. They just kind of hang around. And Karen Rose is also on the Pride Committee. She's our community or faith community outreach coordinator. So that's, we were hoping to have a few more members of the committee today, but,
It's all right, we got,
you know.
it's quite all right. You bet. So,
And Larry.
and Larry, yeah, sure. Okay. So I'm going to ask Commissioner Hutchins to read the proclamation.
When I had staff, my staff research this to put this together, I thought we would just dust something off from last year, the year before that. And staff throughout the county, the commissioner's office, could not find where we've ever done a proclamation, which I found surprising. But, so we're very happy to do this, and you'll talk about the flag. Thank you. Proclamation. National Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Pride Month. Whereas equality of opportunity and freedom from discrimination are among the basic inalienable moral rights of every person, and whereas our nation was founded upon principles that every person has been created equal, that each has rights to their life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and that each shall be accorded the full recognition and protection of law. And whereas the month of June is designated as Pride Month to commemorate the Stonewall riots of June of 1969 and are generally recognized as the catalyst for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, or LGBT, and we can add Q, rights movement. And whereas Thurston County is strengthened by and thrives upon the rich diversity of ethnic, cultural, racial, gender, and sexual identities of its residents, all of which contribute to the vibrant character of our county. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Thurston County Commissioners hereby proclaim the month of June 2017 as National LGBT Pride Month and encourage all Thurston County citizens to celebrate the progress within our culture towards justice, equality, and full civic recognition for LGBT persons, adopted this 13th day of June 2017, signed by your Board of County Commissioners.
Yay.
Thank you.
Two items there, Kai, and for the rest, this morning, the three county commissioners asked the staff to raise the flag, the pride flag, tomorrow at 9 o'clock, all the way through the weekend to Monday, close of business, 4:30, 5 o'clock, in recognition and honor of Pride Month. So,
Thank you.
with that in mind, I'd like to ask the P flag participants and Kai come up here and get a photo
Let me
with
say
us.
one more thing. I want to thank you all for showing up and coming today, and Olympia P Flag for coming and supporting as well with your family. Thank you very much. Right here in the middle.
Ready to do this, dude? All right. There you go, Shane. Push in.
And knock over the easy one. Push it back up.
Push, push.
Squishing, squishing.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
One more.
I did too.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you. Thank you. Stay cool. Thanks, sir. Let me scoot by you. Fat boy like you can get it through here.
And you're welcome to stay or you're welcome to leave.
Okay,
Thank you very, very much, folks.
sure. The next item we have on the agenda today is the opportunity for the public to address the board. And so there's a sign-in sheet in the back by the door, if you haven't signed in already. If you haven't noticed, we have a change where we used to have the stoplight kind of version, red, green, amber. Now we have the clock on the wall, and it's at 3 minutes. It'll count down to 0, and then you'll hear this little microwave buzzer sound, like that. And then if you're mid-thought of your sentence, I'll let you finish off, but I'll ask you kind of to give it the closure. And those who signed in first is first come, first served. So I'll ask Mr. John Pettit to come to the podium and address the board.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm John Pettit. I live on Rich Road down southeast, down in East Olympia. Today, I'm bringing forward a little topic here which has to do with further issues with building number 6 that was purchased by the county and the organization that was involved. The county went a little further. They decided to hire an appraisal done by this particular organization. This organization, for a fee of only $15,000, decided that all the basic county buildings combined show a market value as of April 20th of being $7.8 million. Well, the unfortunate part is that that is a complete fabrication and misguided direction. I did provide some additional documents over here for the county manager. I went through the appraisal. I just finally received a copy of it today. And if you were to look at those documents on page 117, you'll see what the actual values of the buildings actually were presented at. But then they decided through their Kidder-Matthews system of appraisal that they would project out there, what if we never received any rent for the next 5 years on these buildings? And we took away an extra 9%. We added cost for leasing. We added another factor for, tenant improvement. Cost to cure all the problems in all the buildings. Well, the building we're in here right now, believe it or not, according to the way they do their appraisal, this building's worth $1,056,000. I'll tell you what, I'll offer you $2 million for it today. We'll make a deal. Why? Because maybe the fact that it's really worth $7.5 million at least might indicate to you how fraudulent the entire document is. You need to go back. You need to get your money back from this organization. Now, there's a number of things which involved even the purchase of the building number 6 that became very obvious. One of the things you're going to note is the way which they wanted to justify building 6 in their valuations is they made a 6-year plan as to trying to show the rent progress, and the rent wouldn't be received if an investor bought all of it and left it all vacant for all these years. Give them an extra, 2.5% growth factor, then of course, leasing commission of 5%. And a flat rate of $10 a square foot tenant improvements. Then, of course, let's add a discount rate of 9%. Either one, you have staff that has absolutely no idea about valuations, or you are all gullible to corporate misguidance. And unfortunately, we spent a lot of money, too much, on building 6.
Thank you for your words, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, the next person I have is Mr. Terry Ballard. Hello, sir. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Terry Ballard, and I'm a resident of Tanglewild, which is unincorporated Thurston County. To note, I still wondering what that Isthmus Park did with our $650,000, I think it was 5 years ago, in the conservation futures. We need to ask for that money back. Also, I kind of don't know what that range was all about, that we gave a city land to build a range just so long as our sheriff's department can use it, and now they're parking garbage trucks on it. What I'm here to talk about is manipulated data. Manipulated data could be like the pocket gopher, which all three of you ran on, which you know is manipulated data. One of you had two pieces of paper that totally disproved the whole thing about the pocket gopher. Another thing is about the plastic bag ban, another manipulated data. Well, I'm sorry if flying out of the truck and clogging the grinding machine causes a environmental impact, but it has no environmental impact. The next I'm going to talk about is the septic tank fee. Well, we disproved this. We got rid of this ordinance. We took it away from everybody else, but I still have a septic tank fee on my taxes. I don't know when that's going to get rid of, because we know that 0.2% failure rate for all of the septic tanks in Thurston County was manipulated to include, manipulated so we would all have to pay a septic tank fee. When are we going to get rid of this swamp? Okay? These people are manipulating data. People are voting on manipulated data, and these people need to be removed from their office, and they need to find another job. What I really came in here for is I got this letter from Lacey. Kind of really neat, except I don't belong to the city of Lacey. And they said in this, let me read it in part. If you plan to convert in the near future, you might want to consider taking advantage of this great offer. Keep in mind that once your on-site septic tank fails, I guess mine will be that 0.2%, fails, you will have to convert to the city sewer system per Lacey Municipal Code 13.08.20. I was wondering, when did Tanglewild become an annex of Lacey? And they're trying to use scare tactics to get everybody to hook up to city sewer, which Tanglewild has ongoing since 2005, has turned down city sewer forever. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, sir. Next person is Mr. Jack Grimes. Hello, Jack.
Thank you, Commissioners, for another opportunity to speak with you. My name is Jack Grimes. I live at 76th Avenue Northeast, Northeast Thurston County. I personally would like to tell you again how much I appreciate the direction you're taking the county and the leadership you're showing. There are a lot of things that need to be corrected and attention given to, and you're working very speedily toward those things. For myself personally, I'm pleased with what I see that's taking place. I commend you for some of the people that you are helping, or that are helping you with this project. Romero Chavez and Brett Butler are doing a very good job, I believe, in their positions. My personal issue that I brought to you in January, I believe now has been resolved and is moving forward. I honestly believe that I will have a pre-approval letter on my short plat sometime this week, and I would not be there if it wasn't for your leadership and change in the direction and support for Romero Chavez and Brett Butler. And I thank you, and I wish you well in continuing with your quest.
Yep. Thank you for your testimony, sir. Next person is Mr. Ross Lampke. Yes, sir. Come on up. The mic is yours. You can pull it down a little bit, please.
Saying I'm short?
No, I'm not saying that.
Thank you, Commissioners. I was asked to come back to the meeting this week from the Summit Lake community, water quality. We've been doing a lot of research and whatnot in the process while you've been meeting. They wanted to make sure that you knew that we were actively working on this. We've done a lot of education through septics and hearing all sorts of stuff that's been going on. We assume we have a much higher failure rate there than that was proposed in that documentation. We're concerned about the follow-through with it, that once the county does determine you have a failed septic, that there is no actual accountability. We've heard many anecdotal stories about it, and from someone that Commissioner Edwards knows, Bill Jenkins says his hair turned white because of all this, but other than that, that's the only fact I have regarding the septic on this lake. So We've been doing a lot of collaborative talking to all the citizens out there. We're up to about 350 emails from the community. We're trying to come up with consensus on what people are actually concerned about, what they want to work on, and what they want to actually partner with the county on to do. There's definitely a lot of opinions. There's definitely a lot of factors involved, and we're trying to narrow that down. We've got the websites up and running. We're doing educational stuff through the community to reduce nutrient levels in the lake and what we can. Again, the county has been incredibly helpful. Department of Health, Department of Ecology and whatnot, incredible, with the exception of just asking for data. We're having some difficulties with that. Apparently, due to budget cuts from 2009 on, the data no longer became available. It was not entered into the system. As you can see on the website, it stops at that point. So we're actively looking for that so we can partner with them and continue to determine why we are in the position we are. And that's basically it. Thanks for your times.
Yeah, thank you for your words today, sir. Okay, so that concludes those who've signed up on my list. I'd like to scan the audience and see if anybody wishes to come to the podium. Just raise your hand and I'll bring you forward and then you can address the board. And see nobody's raising their hand. I think that's how we have it for today. So now I'll turn to the county manager for a county manager's update.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. As the 4th of July is approaching, let me take you back to June 27, 2016, in which the Board of County Commissioners passed an ordinance amending Chapter of 6.68. This particular amendment to this chapter refers to emergency ban on discharge of consumer fireworks. And the amendment included the county manager, after consulting with the fire marshal or other officials as may be deemed appropriate, may prohibit the discharge of consumer fireworks during period of extreme fire danger. This prohibition shall be in effect 1 day prior to the date consumer fireworks may legally be sold under Chapter 70.77 of the Revised Code of Washington. The Revised Code of Washington, Chapter 7077, 395, states that on June 28th at 9 o'clock is when they start selling legally fireworks, and it will end on July 4th at 9 o'clock in the morning. So that will put us in the position to make a decision by June 27. The long-term forecast is telling us that at this point, we're going to have an average of mid-70s with a precipitation of just about between 15 and 20%. Based on the current weather conditions, my non-expert opinion is that perhaps we may not need to take an action on implementing a ban on fireworks. However, if the conditions change, we will certainly be engaging the fire marshal as well as the fire chiefs to get their perspective, get their feedback, if there's any particular action they will need to take to address any particular fire danger conditions. That's all I have for you.
Any comments to that? Any comments?
I got a comment. It looks like Gary's going to go.
Go ahead.
You go first.
How does that ordinance affect any of the tribal issues where different types of fireworks are sold? Is there any impact on that ordinance from that?
It doesn't. They are sovereign nations, so any particular action that you take doesn't take effect into the reservation.
So even if we do take an action, it really doesn't solve anything, is that right?
It solves on the areas outside of the reservation as well as on the areas on the unincorporated, outside of the incorporated areas.
Okay, thanks.
If we take no action, of course, my grandchildren will be thrilled. However, their dad, our son, who suffers from PTSD, is to his chagrin. And my heart goes out to all of his brothers and sisters, veterans that suffered during the holiday, the 4th of July holiday. But many people will be happy.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay. So the next item is number 3, the consent items here on the agenda, and I'll see if there's a motion to adopt the consent items.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve consent items A through E.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the consent items A through E. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and so that motion carries. So we're going to move to departmental items, and today we start off with central services, and that's advertisement or call for seal bids, project 25531 for Washington State Extension, and that is with, it's not Michael Crow, but who do we have?
This is Martin Casey, your Central Services Director. Michael, unfortunately, is involved in a project meeting, actually, this afternoon.
Okay.
As you mentioned, we're here today seeking your approval to advertise a call for sealed bids on a construction project. Back in 2016, you made the decision to relocate the WSU Extension Program to the Benechek Hall at the Thurston County Fairgrounds and Events Center. The goal behind this move is to provide a good home for Extension and promote partnerships between Extension and Fair programs. In October, the board authorized us to advertise a call, request for proposals and award a contract for design services. That went to Osborne Architects, and since then, architect Jerry Osborne has been meeting extensively with WSU and with fairground staff to develop design proposals. And these were brought back to you in March of this year for your input and direction. Based on that, the design work is now complete, and we're ready to advertise a call for sealed bids to hire a contractor to do the construction work on that design. In terms of timeline, when we go forward, we're expecting to be able to start construction immediately after the fair event in August and reach substantial completion by December 15th of this year. As engineer's cost estimate for overall construction costs is about $382,000, which of course does not include fees and permits and taxes, but is within the overall project budget that has been set aside for this activity. Be happy to answer any questions.
I have none.
I have two.
Okay.
And so just for the viewing audience, I'm going to pick your memory to see if you remember the things that the WSU Extension, what they offer at the McLean Building, and just what they might be transferring over to the fairgrounds.
That's a great question. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of detail on all of the program offerings off the top of my head, but I know they provide 4-H program services. They provide the county's Master Gardener program and clinics. They provide a demonstration kitchen and do food meal delivery out in the community. They provide a number of educational programs and trainings, including pesticide trainings and things like that
And
for
agriculture and what have you.
gardening activities
Okay.
and promoting agricultural and agritourism and agribusiness here in the county.
Sure. And the expected timeline, I think you said it, but just to recap it, is it by November, December, or have I missed it? in terms
We're
of-
expecting to get to substantial completion by December 15th.
Okay, great, sure. Any other comments? All right, is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the advertisement of a call for sealed bids for facilities engineering project number 25531, WSU Extension Facility Remodel, with an engineer's estimated construction cost of $382,125.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and the motion carries. Thank you, Martin. You have another one?
I do.
You bet.
We're also seeking your approval today of a resolution and plan for assigned staff parking here at the courthouse. As you're aware, the county has established parking lots and plans and policies by ordinance and resolution in the past, which provide for public parking as well as for assigned staff parking for county employees and county vehicles. The last time the board formally updated that parking plan was in 1991, and there have been a number of changes in our operations and services over the last 25 years. We are now working to restore a 16-space judicial parking lot behind Building 2, which is giving us an opportunity to revisit courthouse staff parking assignments. So starting in January of this year, a committee of elected officials, department directors, and other senior managers met several times and reviewed all of the available assigned parking spaces. We surveyed tenants, asked about the number of types of parking spaces needed and their preferred or desired locations. We considered operational needs, safety, and security in updating the parking assignments. This plan, they actually reached consensus, and we briefed the board on those recommendations in March. You then made some minor adjustments to the assignments and asked that the proposals be incorporated into a policy that we would put into the Thurston County Administrative Manual, as well as adopting this resolution and the necessary changes in ordinances and so forth. As I mentioned, what will trigger our ability to actually move forward with these new assignments will be the completion of the judicial parking lot, which is slated for readiness by mid-October. And with that, happy to answer any questions.
This was beyond staff. Does it add additional parking for the public?
It does not add, unfortunately, additional parking for the public. It basically looked at the existing group of assigned spaces and looked to see if we could adjust and update them to better meet current operational and security needs.
Did anybody have issues parking today, getting here? Just the media.
Yes.
There you go, Graham. Thank you. That's all.
Sure. One of the best morale builders and speed and floor makers here is keeping the parking lots on the straight and narrow, right?
We're trying.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
understand that the courthouse as it exists today and with the staffing and customer, the number of visitors we get, it is underserved by the current lots, and we know that's one of the considerations you're looking at as far as future planning.
Oh, yeah.
Our historian Dave Shipley was probably on that first committee, too.
I'm love parking lots. All right, is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the resolution updating courthouse parking lot assignments and establishing the courthouse parking policy in the Thurston County Administrative Manual.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Martin.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you again. The next department we have is Public Health and Social Services. And today we have Sue Pointer. She's from the Education Outreach portion, and she's going to talk a little bit about the statewide pharmacy local health jurisdiction. How you doing, Sue?
Very good.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah, good afternoon to Chairman Blake, Commissioner Hutchins and Edwards.
Yeah.
So I'm here hopefully today for you to approve and authorize our public health director to move forward with this MOU. I do want to share with you, this is a statewide mutual memo of understanding. I'm going to say mutual aid agreement, but it's not. That'll make the legal happy. So the intent of it is all 35 local health jurisdictions across the state will be signing this, and most have already done this. And what this really does is it expands our capability within Thurston County to, in the event of an outbreak or some type of public health emergency, to be able to rapidly connect with our partners. And one of the reasons why is with pharmacies. I'm going to share with you the pharmacies that are already on board are Costco, Fred Meyer, QFC, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and also a local pharmacy, which is Tim's Pharmacy in Yelm, which has been a tremendous partner for us. One of the things, I'm going to take us back to H1N1, and actually within our department, we were a little bit progressive at the time. I wasn't there, so I'm going to give credit to the staff that was. They were saying there's got to be a better method to quickly get out and dispense and vaccinate folks during H1N1. And they looked at these partnerships. So what this MOU basically does is let us get to the table beforehand, especially with some of these larger pharmacies, some of the box pharmacies that have a lot of corporate ladders and steps you need to take. So we look at this as a very positive partnership, and especially with pharmacies because they bring in expertise in terms of their ability to manage, handle, and dispense medications as well as vaccines. So it's building that capability for public health. Any questions?
Comments, questions?
You know, I guess I'd have a comment.
Sure, go ahead.
I just think it's worth doing because we just don't know what we don't know, and when that disaster happens, we're glad to have you folks out there doing the right thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're very glad to have our partners. I don't think in public health we can get it done without our health and medical system partners, and that's why this is a great step forward.
Collaboration's key. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
and that
good.
and relationship building, yeah, sure.
Very good.
Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move to approve and authorize the Public Health and Social Services Director to sign the Washington Statewide Pharmacy Local Health Jurisdiction Memorandum of Understanding.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and so your motion carries. Thank you, Sue. It's good to see you. So next is the set of public hearing on the proposed FY 2017 HUD HUD, or Housing and Urban Development Annual Action Plan, and we have Mr. Gary Aiden to tell us about it today.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Each year, HUD requires that we have two public hearings. One is for the annual plan where the projects that are approved by the community are proposed and people get an opportunity to talk about those. And the last one is the CAPER, which is a report on those projects that have been completed over the year. This is for the annual 2017 HUD plan. It will address 7 CDBG-funded projects and 3 home-funded projects that were selected through the SIP process and will be brought to you commissioners in the next month or so.
Okay, and CDBG and SIP stand for?
CDBG, Community Development Block Grant. That's federal HUD money. And SIP is the Community Investment Partnership, a partnership between all cities and towns in the United Way to make recommendations to the Board of Commissioners on projects.
Yeah, great, thank you. And so do we do this, I know we've been doing it every year, but how many years have we been involved with it in the county?
We have been involved with this HUD program since 2002.
Oh, my God, okay. Any comments or questions?
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
And housing is the top hot topic now. Anyway, so no, thank you, Gary, for all the work you do for us and the community.
Sir.
Is there a motion?
Yep, Mr. Chair, I move to set a public hearing for Tuesday, July 11, 2017, at 3 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter may be heard, at the Thurston County Courthouse, Building 1, Room 280, to receive public comments and review the fiscal year 2017 HUD annual action plan. This is contingent upon federal funding in the amount of $1,678,888.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and so your motion carries.
Thank you very much.
You bet. So item number 6 is the Commissioners and County Managers item, and today we have Carrie Hennon. She's for the TST, and I'll let you tell what TST is and give a little background on that.
Thank you. TST is treatment sales tax, and I'm here today to ask for your approval to contract with 5 community agencies for treatment sales tax community grants. So in April, you all approved the release of an RFP for $246,000 in one-time grant funding, treatment sales tax funds, enhanced mental health and substance use services in Thurston County. With the release of the RFP, you all asked for a couple specific priorities. 1, a focus on youth, and 2, a request that at least $75,000 go to fund programming that hasn't been funded in the past in this community. So we released that RFP, we received 9 applications, and then a panel of 9 county staff and community experts received those proposals. And came up with a recommendation that meets the requirements of TST and meets the priorities you set out related to funding youth programming and funding some new programming to kind of get some new ideas started in the community. So the funding recommendation from the review panel was, so again, 5 agencies. So 1, community youth services to be funded at a level of $50,000. That would fund a mental health therapist serving youth and young adults experiencing homelessness. Second, the YWCA of Olympia funding their Girls Council program, which serves young, so girls under the age of 18 involved in the juvenile justice system. Third, and that's at $60,500. Third, the Community Action Council for the Monarch Children's Justice and Advocacy Center, also $60,500. That serves child victims of sexual abuse. Fourth, Heart Strides for $34,000. That is new programming, equine-assisted youth peer support, serving youth involved in the juvenile court system in some way. And last but not least, Family Education and Support Services, $41,000 in funding for the Parenting Inside Out program, which is a evidence-based intervention used widely with incarcerated parents. So that is the recommendation from the panel, and we are requesting your approval to award those contracts and authorize the Assistant County Manager to sign.
I guess I would like to point out to those folks that are viewing this in the audience that some people maybe get tired of me saying this, but this is all about kids, young people, and kids are 30% of our population and 100% of our future, and we need to do what we can to help that future be successful, and I think this is a step in the right direction.
I agree.
Yes, the year I spent on the Treatment Sales Tax Advisory Board that the previous commission had established before there was a conflict of interest. I couldn't even spell BoCC then. It was exceptionally intense and comprehensive work that they do. So I am thrilled to see that the focus is on youth and children, mental health, and parenting, or parents as well. It's heartwarming. There's a lot of money going out to a lot of great organizations that are doing a tremendous amount of good for our community, our local community. So thank you, Carrie, very much for the work you do as well.
Thank you.
And for me, you stated there's 9 that have applied and 5 were selected. And
Yes.
so with that, of course, the focus on the youth. But could you just kind of give the viewing audience a general timeline of how this all occurs? So for those who are interested in the next year, because it's an annual event, what to kind of expect in broad terms, just kind of so that wet the whistle, so to speak.
Sure. So the RFP was released in April. Proposals were due in May. We're bringing this recommendation to you now to enter into contracts beginning either July 1st or August 1st, kind of depending on the readiness of each of those individual providers. We, I think, shared the word about the RFP pretty widely through the treatment sales tax network as well as through social media. I think we would like to possibly move that process a little bit earlier in the year next
Okay,
year.
that's
So
good.
for the public, look for that potentially a little earlier than April 2018.
That's good words. Okay, thank you so much. Is there a motion?
I move to award one-time treatment sales tax community grants with Community Youth Services for $50,000, YWCA of Olympia for $60,500, Community Action Council of Lewis, Mason, and Thurston counties for $60,500, Heart Strides for $34,000, and Family Education and Support Services for $41,000 for contracts ending no later than July 31, 2018, and authorize the Assistant County Manager to sign these contracts.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. As stated, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and so your motion carries. Thank you so much, Carrie. So for item 6B, we have Robin Campbell, who's going to introduce us to the Citizen Priorities and Strategic Plan.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you. Today I'm here to request your approval to issue a request for qualifications for a consultant to assist the county in surveying citizens and asking what their priorities are for our county's government, and also to update our county strategic plan. The last time that the county went out and did a citizen survey was 2005. I have a 2005 report titled Citizen Priorities for Thurston County, and our strategic plan was last updated in 2014. So I would suggest to you that it's time to go out and ask our citizens what is most important to them, and for the county to reassess our strategic direction and have an ability to align our spending of our scarce resources with those priorities and do it strategically. So this contract would be for, or rather we're requesting proposals from contractors who would assist the county in doing those things, and we would have the reports by February of 2018.
All right, is there a comment or a question?
No, I'm good.
Very good. How about you?
We were talking about this morning, about who we work for.
Yeah.
And we work for the citizens. So I think it's great we're going to be doing this, include their voice. It's a must. So thank you.
Well, that and populations change, millennials, generational change, and this is just high time we do a check with the general public and see where we're at as far as money spending and prioritization. So, yeah, is there a motion? You tapping at me?
Well, before that motion is made, I would just like to ask or reassure the community that as this moves forward, we're going to live by the results of this particular
That's exactly right.
assessment of community desires. So that has not always been the case, but there is a new board here now, so I'm looking forward to seeing what is brought to our attention. Thank you.
While I have this, kind of walk us through the timeline and when the survey possibly goes out and when we might get the results back to kind of answer part B of Gary's question.
So that's going to be based on the proposals that we've received. We're asking the bidders to tell us what their timeframes would be and how they would design the survey to best get those opinions. So I don't have a time frame other than we expect everything to be concluded by next February.
That's great. So is there a motion?
Oh, yes, Mr. Chair, I move to authorize the release of a request for qualifications for a consultant to conduct a survey of citizen priorities for Thurston County government and to assist the county in the update of the Thurston County Strategic Plan.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and motion carries. Okay, great. So the next item we have is commissioner items, where they possibly can talk about where they've gone out into the public or some work assignment, anything on their minds for as commissioners items. Anything you want to talk about?
Oh, not all the things that we do every week. I guess I'm not going to get into those. I was speaker for the Chamber of Commerce down at Rochester, and they're glad to see some changes coming out of the county commission. I'd mentioned that. Some priorities being put towards the economic development in this community. And I would just like to point out that aren't we lucky to live here in the United States of America, where we can have such a diverse community come together, talk about things we may or may not even agree with, but it's all civil discourse, and we kick things around, and I just think that I was feeling quite patriotic today, so I wore my flag tie, but I just think that we are so fortunate. If you look around this world, what other people have to live with, and compare that to what we're doing every day, people can come in here and give us the dickens about this or that, or they can compliment us. It's kind of, to me, it's just plain amazing that we were able to do that and make it all work. So that's kind of all I've got to say today. We're all in this game together, and it's a joy serving the citizens of Thurston County. Thank you.
You bet. Sir, what do you got?
Wow. I attended the LEF, that's LEOFF, Law Enforcement Officer and Firefighters Disability Board meeting this last week, and heard the claims of a couple old timers that have retired to move that process along. Met with Sheriff John Snaza and Interim Director of the Office of Public Defense, Patrick O'Connor, and with Prosecuting Attorney John Thunheim. We talked about the Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion Program and how it's kicking off in Thurston County to include all jurisdictions, sans one in this county, and designed to help divert people from jail and get them back either into substance abuse or mental health treatment where they get better help rather than jail. Met with state auditor yesterday. Our state auditors came in, and that was interesting. And met with Representative Andrew Barkus yesterday to ask for his help in not cutting funding to our courts here in Thurston County. This coming Thursday, Friday, I'm looking forward to being in Vancouver, Washington, or if you're cool, you call it the COOV, for a statewide behavioral health conference. And that's going to be very fascinating. Hope to bring good information back to not only our Board of County Commissioners, but the Board of Health and BHO as well, Behavioral Health Organization. And that's it.
Yeah, it's great stuff there. For me, I'll speak for all three of us and to include the county manager. One item that we get to do monthly is to meet the new employees, and so we go to new employee orientation. And it's just overwhelmingly surprising just some of the great talent that comes into the county as far as whatever department or elected office, and to see those willing to step up and do local government service is just phenomenal. and take pride in what they do. And you'll be surprised how many people we have here that's 20, 25, 30 years, and to see the new generation of people coming on board has been fantastic. The other item we set in on is the jail population crisis action team, and that's been working for the last 2.5 years, and I'm super excited about seeing where it is as far as its status. Law and justice cost a lot of money to run a jail, the court system. It's all well worth it, but to get the jail population down takes a united effort on all parts. And from the court system, the sheriff, the prosecuting attorney, public defense, the clerk, pretrial services, it takes all those and to move in the right direction at one time, and we've come a long ways. And they just completed a new survey in the courts area that's really turned the corner. And I forget what FLIP stands for, but what does the FLIP stand for?
Felony Leadership Action Project.
There you go.
Oh,
so that's what the new acronym we have as far as the court system coming together in that survey. But it's going to lean us forward as far as getting the jail population down, and I just have a lot of good faith in what we're doing, and it's been very rewarding. So. The other item is I sit on the Cascade Pacific Action Alliance, and that's a 7-county initiative to cut down on social determinants and cause better community health. Actually, the name is changing there also. It's called Accountable Community Health. It's it's an action arm of what we call the waiver funds. And while we just kind of met the second and third time within this year, and under that umbrella, the ACH umbrella, it's going to do great wonders as far as helping the schools, the communities as a whole, the rural counties, and a lot of our urban environments. And as far as opioids, the mental health, a whole host of issues that we address regularly. And you're going to hear a lot of great stuff coming out of that over the next couple of years. So, with that in mind, is there any other final comments?
No, not for me, no.
Nope. And then we have the county manager's update.
Thank you, Commissioners, again. I'd just like to walk you through the combined calendar that you have for the rest of the week. Starting today, June 13 at 3:30 in the afternoon, you have your regular Board of Health meeting. Moving to Wednesday, June 14th, at 11:30, you have the Salvation Army Community Awareness Facility Tour. 2 in the afternoon, you will convene back here in this room to have an update briefing on the mineral resources land effort. At 3 in the afternoon, tomorrow, June 14th, you will have a briefing on the Shoreline Master Program. That is an update. And at 4 in the afternoon, you have a Flag Day ceremony at the Lacey Civic Plaza. Moving to Thursday, June 15, you don't have nothing on your combined calendar. You may have individual appointments where individual commissioners may have individual meetings. On Friday the 16th at 3:30 in the afternoon, you have a BHO administrator position analysis. And moving to Monday, June 19th, at noon, you have a luncheon with the Olympia Kiwanis Club. And at 3 in the afternoon, you have the Thurston Thrives Coordinating Council meeting. And on June 20th, next Tuesday, we'll go back here to review the agenda for that day. That's all I have for you, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Any closing comments?
No, sir.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chair, I move to adjourn the Board of County Commissioners meeting of June 13, 2017.
Second.
It's been moved and second to adjourn. We are adjourned.